Hello and welcome to Movies Games Beyond. Now, have you ever wondered what the top 5 student-teacher affair movies are? Well, in this video, guys, we're going to look at them. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I always had a crush on my teacher at school, and I always wished that I could have an affair with her. I used to read it in the newspapers that people are having affairs with the teachers getting caught, getting done, etc. But I wouldn't have grasped. I wouldn't have minded. I would have loved it. My teacher, my form teacher, who I used to see every day, God, she was gorgeous. But anyway, let's get into this, guys. Number 5 is Elegy. Came out in 2008. Elegy is a movie on this list that I've seen most recently, and I'm thankful because I may just have witnessed one of the most ambitious films of the 21st century. This is an erotic drama with Ben Kingsley's character posing as a teacher in a relationship, an expat Brit who also happens to be a writer, and it chronicles his relationship with a seemingly well-mannered and obedient student of his, played by Penelope Cruz. Very, very beautiful. Being rather ruthless with the way he treats women, the professor is surprised to find himself falling in love with this girl, all the while developing sexual feelings like never before. Elegy has some great performances from both the main stars, and its story is gripping, to say the least. Though flawed in direction and screenplay, the film manages to find its way nearing the end, leading to a touching and a heartbreaking finale. Now, if you want some trivia about this, guys, David, Sir Ben Kingsley, tells Consuelo that she looks like Goya's Magia Desnuda. Penelope Cruz, Consuelo, plays Pepita Tudor in Volvermont 1999, possibly a model for the Magia Desnuda. Now, sorry guys, I just probably messed all that up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you another one. At around 1 hour and 23 minutes, when David, Sir Ben Kingsley, receives a call from Consuelo, Penelope Cruz, the spine of a copy of The Dying Animal, the Roth novel on which this movie was based, can be seen atop the stack of books beside the phone on David's countertop. Did you know that, guys? And I'm going to give you a little goof about this movie, guys. At one point, Ben Kingsley says to Penelope Cruz, "The beast with two backs. Where's that from?" She answers Shakespeare, and he agrees that it's from Othello. The fact is that Shakespeare borrowed it from the original author, François Rabelais. The phrase appears in French as "La bête à deux dos" in Gargantua and Pantagruel, 1532. That's a goof, guys. I didn't even know that. But anyway, coming in at number 4 is Half Nelson. Came out in 2006. Half Nelson is one of the best experiences I've had with a movie of all the ones I've seen here. The film has to do with a high school teacher and his serious addiction to drugs, portrayed realistically by Ryan Gosling. He likes to keep that part of his life private, and the way he goes about all of this is a little too authentic. If you ask me, making the film difficult to sit through at times. It then shows the development of his friendship with a student in his class after she discovers a dark and unpleasant side of him. There's a little something that touches us about the way they try to work around this problem. While there isn't any clear-cut defining moment that the relationship between them is one built on feelings, but not between mere friends, it is understandable in the sublist of ways. I think that's beautiful. Now, do you want some trivia? The film was shot in 23 days and finished 1 day ahead of schedule. I've no goose for this one, guys, so let's move on to the next one. Number 3, Blue Car. Came out in 2002. This film has a romance that I'd say is unlikely but occurs out of likely situations. It is told from the student's perspective, a girl named Meg Denning, who is a poet at heart. Her character is one that is troubled both by her inferiority and her life at home, having to live with a sister who is so depressed she refuses to eat and a mother who usually isn't there for her. This forces Meg to rely on someone outside her direct circles and forms a relationship with her AP English teacher, who appreciates her poetry, motivating her to improve her talents. Thus begins a friendship that slowly turns into something of a romance for the lonely girl, and it is hard not to understand and follow her terrible plight. The film is moving, thought-provoking, and even rather shocking at times, with some faults relating to undeveloped subplots. Some trivia. The film premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2002. Some goofs. The application form that Meg fills out for the poetry contest says her poem is entitled Blue Car, although at the point she has not yet written the poem or given it a title. Now, did you know that, guys? Did you pick up on that? Let me know. And if you're enjoying this video, guys, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But moving on, number 2, Notes of a Scandal. Came out in 2006. It's about the tragedies of everyday life. Following characters so beautifully written and wonderfully acted out, the only thing that makes it all better is the incredibly woven story that takes the form of a thriller drama with romance being an element sprinkled throughout the runtime. An art house feature in every way, the film focuses on friendship that develops between a veteran school teacher and a flirty, innocent art teacher who is several years younger. It trails their relation with each other as it soon turns into a cruel scheme with blackmail pulling the major strings when the older of the two discovers the affair the other one is having with a much younger, 15 years old to be precise, student of theirs. The film thrives on the characters' dependency on each other, which is what makes the perilous situation that much more disturbing. It's supremely underrated, which I feel is unfair. There are some goose and some trivia. Here's the trivia. Jason Reitman read the script and wanted to direct it. He called up the producers on the phone with the intention of getting the job. The producers answered, "We are in editing right now, but I hope you'll like the film when it comes out." And for the goofs, when Sheba is rampaging through Barbara's house in search of her journal, you can see a crew member in the mirror behind her as she goes to sit. Coming in at number 1 is The Piano Teacher. Came out in 2001. Michael Haneke's films have been mentioned time and time again on here. Besides considering him to be one of the greatest filmmakers alive and to have ever lived, I also think of him as very knowledgeable of the human psyche, using his cinema to twist it in ways that make the experience of viewing one of his works magnetic as well as repulsive. The Piano Teacher is one of Haneke's most disturbing films. It makes the very concept of love disgusting and dangerous, something to be afraid of. People are examined the same way, with Isabelle Huppert's character coming off as a violent deranged as a piano teacher for whom one of her students fall for. It takes the deepest and most secretive of human fantasies and produces out of them embarrassing and horrifying situations. I honestly can't sit through this film a second time, and that isn't because I don't love it. Believe me, I do. The funny thing about all of this is that I've heard the book that it's based on is much more harrowing. Now, do you want to hear some trivia? Isabelle Huppert really played the piano in the film. She had studied piano for 12 years, and as preparation for her role as a piano teacher, she resumed practicing a year before the movie started filming. Yeah? And that is it for our top 5 student-teacher affair movies. Let us know in the comments below which is your favourite movie. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We hope you like this movie, guys. And if you did, and if we've missed any off this list, let us know, guys. Comment below. Thanks very much for watching. Till next time, goodbye.